Hey guys, we're standing outside the Las Vegas Convention Center in lovely Las Vegas, Nevada. We are here for the Champ Show. The Champ Show, guys, is kind of like consumer electronics show, but for weed, bongs, pipes, dab rigs, papers. I mean, any way to ingest marijuana, they got you covered at this show. We saw Be Real in there signing signatures, Cottonmouth Kings, and I mean, Big Mike Stramatis in there. All kinds of growers, professional talent, girls, everywhere. Super hotties, my God. And even the advanced girls came out, and they were all smoking too. Guys, we were streaming this event live today, so you can make sure to check some of that out at advancednutrients.com and see bigger parts of the show. Otherwise, just watch this. Hey guys, this is LJ with Advanced Nutrients, and I'm here with the man, Josh from Raw Papers, Element Papers, all kinds of smoking device this man has created that we have all used before. And dude, you were telling a story about the way you've designed these papers. I had no idea that type of care, the type of love went into this job, dude. I mean, he was telling us about like making it burn even. Can you tell some of our guys about why paper should burn even? All the work you had to do to make yours.
Sure, let me go pack those so I can show it to you.
Please, man.
Okay, hopefully I have a king size left. I do, cool. Right, we try to explain it a little bit on the watermark, like on the start sheet. But with, in essence, a rolling paper can either be made by cellulose or fiber. We prefer to use fiber. I think we're the only people left who do, because fiber, even though it's more difficult to make the paper that way, it makes the paper burn better, and it makes it much more resilient, so that it's a lot harder to tear. It also changes the way it burns and tastes. Everything about it is different. The more you refine a paper, the more you boil it down to its cellulose level, the more it's going to taste kind of like chemically. It's just natural because you're breaking it down, which is the opposite of natural. So we're trying to go towards something, and it's always easier to do it the cheap chemical way. Right. But yeah, we don't bleach our paper. We make it, it's all natural. But it's beyond that. I mean, that's cool, great, natural paper. It's something I always wanted to do, we did it, but it's not just unbleached. The whole point is to make it where it's unrefined, which is a whole nother level. The gum line we use is mostly acacia sap from Ethiopia. This is a tree called the acacia tree, and we collect the sap completely naturally. It's all organic. Most of the time it's done by either you actually collect it, it goes into a ball on the tree and you take it off, or you build a pile of rocks around the base of the tree, and the sap falls down and you scrape the sap off the rocks. And it's been done this way for centuries, and it's like maybe even thousands of years, I think it is. And it's still done the same way. So everything we do is like that. You were talking to me, when you were around earlier, I was talking, I think, about the watermark. The watermark is, I mean, do you really want me to go into this kind of detail? I go on and on.
Okay, this is what happened to me, man. I was listening to you telling me about, dude, okay, I've been using Zags, I've used your papers for years, I've used all kinds of stuff, and to me, I'm just like, paper's a paper, shove some pot in there, let's get high. And then I come listen to you, and I'm like, whoa, this guy has dedicated his life to finding a better way, a smarter way, a more organic way, a harder way, you know, all the way down to, does this paper burn even? Does it run? You said something that I found interesting. I watch people smoke pot, and you may think that I'm looking at you strange, and indeed I kind of am, because I'm studying the way your paper burns. Right. And I'm like, this guy is brilliant. That's so sharp and needed in this industry.
Yeah,
you know?
well, the thing is, as long as somebody's smoking anything, it's not just, I think you mentioned pot before, it isn't just that. It's, if you're smoking, whatever you're smoking, I'm going to be studying you. If you're smoking a commercial cigarette, I'm not going to be looking at your ember, that's the burning part, because that's so chemically controlled and just awful on a typical cigarette that there's no point in me looking at it, because it's going to do exactly, and not just even, it's going to hit these rings of EVA or PVA. They're going to try to slow it down so that it goes out in case you fall asleep while you're smoking. That's a whole bullshit thing that was actually done in order to give a very large cigarette paper company a monopoly of cigarette paper, and where everybody has to buy from them and use their patents. Anyway, that's just my opinion, though. It's not like I know anything.
Yeah.
So,
Never done anything like that before. Every single time.
I'm right. So I wouldn't be looking at that, but I'd be looking at your mannerisms to see how you're smoking, where you're holding it, where on your mouth, if it's closer in your cigarette, if it's closer to your tip of your finger, if it's deep in. I look at every single detail of what you're doing because I can learn from it. How can I improve your process? What are you doing? Why are you doing that? Does everyone do that? Next person, I'm looking at them, and it all kind of comes together. What I noticed a lot of times with hand-rolled cigarettes was that there was a tendency for the ember to we call it canoeing or burn down the side. So I decided I was going to stop that. And I set it to be my goal. I'm going to fix this. There's a problem. I will fix it. So I went about and I started changing the watermark. Now the watermark on a paper it's usually done on a steam wheel, and it kind of puts this little ingrain into the paper, just done by steam, where it gives a little impression. Well, anytime you touch the paper in any which way, you're going to alter its burn. So I could see what the ember was doing as it would hit the watermark. So I realized I could use the watermark to control the burn better on my paper. So I did. I set about, first I developed this cube pattern, because I was thinking scientifically that I would do it like, it will do what I want it to do. And no, it was like the opposite. It was fucking fighting me. It was like going more running. Like the more I tried to control it, the more it was uncontrolled. And one day I was smoking with a friend of mine, and I was watching her smoke, and I realized that she and the cigarette were kind of one. Whereas if I told her what to do, she's going to do the opposite of whatever the fuck I tell her to do. But if I ask her to, if I guide her as a dancer would, left and right, then you're fine. You lead, but you don't push. So I went back to the drawing board and I changed everything. Instead of thinking about controlling it, I thought about, I'll just kind of guide it. And I did that. I turned over cubes and I turned them sideways until they were basically crisscrosses, which actually encourages the burn to do what it wants. And then I bring it back to center. And it goes on and on like that, just like a dance. And this is what I did in order to create the ultimate watermark, which is why my papers almost never run. And they are the best burning papers in the world. There's more and more details. I mean, really,
That's a huge deal, though, bro. Dude, I've got 128 gigs. You go.
Finish it. But okay, so that's just one example. Everything I do with the paper, everything is done at that level.
1920. You said you had to find special wheels to roll it from 1920 or something.
1924 is the year of the steam of our watermarking machine. What it is it looks really like, I don't know how to describe it. It looks incredibly antique. And what it is, we have this old blue wheel. It looks like the wheel of a captain's ship up in the air above the machine. And there's a very old man, he's about 80, and I think he's about 83, might be 84 now, who comes and when it's time to do watermarking, which is usually once a week, he comes and he's the one who has to set the machine for the watermark. It's done by taking measurements of humidity and temperature, so you do it the scientific way, and then in the end, he licks his finger and puts it in the air and thinks about it for a while, and then he goes up and sets the machine. And then we run it. Yeah, in the end, well, he does actual measurements, and then it's also, what do I feel? Because if he pushes the wheel too much, you'll actually over watermark the paper, where you'll get little burns in it, little holes. And if you do too little, then you get no watermark at all. So, or not enough where you can see it. So the goal is to get it exactly right.
Have you been a grower?
No.
Dude, like it took me about 5 years in a grow room before I could. It's about 42% humidity and 62. It's like now I am a human, but it took years. Like I admire the talent of your older guy.
Well, it's a matter of getting it
Like that.
it's called mastery. And once you achieve mastery, you have achieved mastery. You can get to a higher level of mastery, but it's mastery.
Would it be nuts of me to assume that some guys maybe over at a company like Philip Morris who put out shitloads of papers, maybe they're not concerned with mastery as much as they're concerned with mass production, and everything that you're telling me about is a guy who cares, a guy who's taking the time, a guy who refines his product, a guy who cares about his end user's experience. And I don't see tons of that, dude. Like, okay, look, I'm here talking, I'm excited about it, so yes.
Right.
Tell me, how did you...
Okay, I'll explain it to you. In a nutshell, what you're saying is something that all right. Because of what we do, there are many people who want to capture it and put it in a bottle and sell it in the market for $1 billion, you know what I mean? And they'll want to buy my company, they want to buy me and all this stuff. And I always say the same thing to them, which is this. If they come to approach me and tell me, oh, we can make you so much money, oh my God, we can get you. Like, dude, that's awesome. Thank you so much, I'm doing fine. It was awesome meeting you. Like, my answer is always, how are you going to make my life more fun and interesting? Tell me about that. Tell me about how me working with you is actually going to be like, and it's going to improve the process. How we're going to make better rolling papers. I have a foundation where we do like charity work around the world, and I do water wells and feeding programs. How are we going to do more of that? Explain to me like how you're going to make everything better for me and all my people. And they're like, they start talking about money again. I'm like, it's okay, man. That's awesome. You know what I mean? But this will never work. It's cool. Well, I really
Who else like this? Big Mike. Big Mike
Yeah.
does all kinds of shit. Fed 4,200 people or
Yeah.
families, close to 20,000 people last Christmas.
Yeah.
And dude, I don't hear a lot. I talk to a lot of dudes
Yeah, I
with a
know.
lot of weed, a lot of different businesses, corners of the business, and I just don't hear enough of this. I think it's pressure.
Well, they're chasing money. And the thing is, if you do what you really love and really do it to the level of love, if you really put that into it, then the money will always come. Money is easy, man. Like, you get these people from New York, they're finance people, they buy and sell, blah, blah, blah. They make money, dude. I don't make money. I make the best fucking rolling paper in the world. And when I'm dead and buried and shit like that, I want them to say, that motherfucker made the best rolling paper in the world. Not, he made a lot of money. Oh, wow, that's really great. Look at him. Woo-hoo. Yeah, that's fun. Dude, that's like the opposite of fun. You know? Like, what's the fucking point of living if all it is chasing money? That's no good. I love what I do. Just like, I like Big Mike a lot because Big Mike likes what he fucking does. That's why we get along. We sit around and we laugh.
I'm only buying raw papers.
Right
I
on.
don't know about you folks, but I'm moved by a guy who gives a shit about whether I like his product. I've not a ton of that in this market. Like, yeah, dude, I'm loving everything that you're saying. Tell me how you got into the well thing. How did that happen? Yeah,
Okay,
building
I'll tell you that
people
last
well.
story, and then I gotta run because. Okay, so the okay, we're getting announced. Okay, the Wells I was on the board of a different charity called Earth Save, and I was the secretary of Earth Save for 5 years until I had to take back over more actively my companies. And while I was there on that board, a fax came through, and it's a picture of a tribal man. He had a turban wrapped around his head, but not like a religious turban, more of a tribal. And he was in Ethiopia, and it was saying that this area of Ethiopia, this town called Dakicha, was being declared a UN disaster relief area and asking for help from anyone who could help. So I'm looking at the picture of this man, and as a quote, it says, "If it rains, I will crawl on my knees if I must to plant my teff seeds." Now, I know teff. It's this Ethiopian wheat, and it's high in protein. It's really good food, and it's gluten-free, and I love Ethiopian food. So I'm looking at this, and it connected with me just because of that one little thing. And then I'm looking at the look on this guy's face, and I was like, fuck, we'd just gotten the results like a day before. We had the best year ever. We'd made all this money. We're like, great. I'm like, you know what? I can do anything. If there's fucking water to be had, I can fix this. Because we get these faxes all the time. They go nowhere and nobody gets help. I'm like, I can get this motherfucker some water. I know I can. If I can't, I can move the whole fucking village. But I'm gonna fix this one problem, right? I can do this. So it was actually a lot harder than I thought, but in the end, it was actually my own people, like my fans on Raw, who were the ones who connected me with Doc Henley from Wine to Water. He's a big smoker of Raw, and turned out he had a rig in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, the capital. So I arranged to set it all up. We financed it, we backed it, we arranged everything, and we sent the rig and the right people down into Dakicha. It hadn't rained there in 2.5 years, and everybody was dying. The crops were dead, the animals were dead, now the people were dying. And on the day we broke ground on that well, it started raining. And it rained for 2 weeks straight until we were done with our freaking well. No.
Like I'm doing the right thing here.
No. Nothing about that. It just happened. I can't go there at all. For me, it was all, like, the only thing I give you was beautiful. It was energy. We were fine. Like, I guess maybe the focus of energy was it's time to help. And we come in to help, and it focuses, and then help all kind of comes. So we saved the town. We saved the people. That one thing started it where it's like, okay, we're done. I did it. It's over. And now it's like, shit, what do I do next? Because it felt so good. You know what I mean? It was like, okay, we got to do
Feels
something
good to listen to, bro.
Right. Then it was a 13 water well project in Uganda, and then it was this project and a feeding program in Ethiopia, and then right now I'm finishing Mother Teresa's well, which is a whole thing. It cost me so much money. It was awful, but it's okay. It had to be done. Someone had to do it. And the cool shit about doing things like this, like Mother Teresa's well, is you can never take it away from me. Like I could somehow lose everything tomorrow, next week, whenever, and yeah, you can't take. What are they gonna go confiscate Mother Teresa's well? No, it's done. It's over. It was done. I could be living under a bridge, and I will always know that I fucking did this. I fixed that fucking well. I went in there when no one else would go in there, and I gave all those people water. 800 people in this hospital now have fresh, clean water because I fucking pulled it off. and it can't go away. There's a quote from Marcus Aurelius that I live by, which is, the only wealth you can ever keep is the wealth you give away. And it's true. It rings in my head every moment of every day. And I guess that, in a nutshell, explains everything. I could keep going. I know I'm talking too fast
has been
because I'm trying to give you everything I can.
Guys, when you support Raw Papers, you're supporting a lot more than just some company. You're helping
Right.
make a difference in lives everywhere. Dude, incredible. It's been absolutely my pleasure,
My
brother.
pleasure.
Thank you
Thank you
so
very
much.
much.
Josh from Raw. Guys, everyone support Raw. You'll see me buying them. You're the man, dude. Oh, my God. Thank you. You take it easy, brother. Guys, I hope you had as much fun as I did at the Champ Show. It is raging. You guys all got to come check it out next year. Las Vegas, Nevada, Champ Show. Insane. They have a couple more of these every year, so make sure you check out the one in your area. But, you know, if you can pick one, Vegas is the win. So, guys, make sure you come and check it out next year. This is LJ, and we'll see you next time.